coming. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items. So the meeting is being recorded, and I'll send the recording out to kind of a contacts list for these types of meetings. So if there's anybody who isn't able to attend tonight, or if you want to see the recording afterwards, please let us know when we'll have that information available. If you haven't signed the sign-in sheet yet, please do so. We'll use that just for some more informational purposes for maybe future meetings or for this meeting in general. And if you have questions about tonight's meeting, please feel free to email me. My name is Alyssa Solachik, and I've got my email right up there. Just some quick items for our agenda tonight. We'll first go over some introductions, and then we will talk about the Kennedy Square East project. Now have an opportunity for general contractors for bidding. We'll also provide an update on kind of the next phase, the next projects coming up in the C&I area as well. And then we'll talk about some of the governmental requirements, some of the federal requirements. Questions, and then at the end we'll conclude with some different technical assistance providers that are here. They have their tables set up, so thank you to all of you for being here tonight. With that, we're going to go with I'm a city planner for the city of Omaha, and I work with contractors for some different construction compliance related matters like Section 3 data speaking. So with that, I think we'll just kind of go around and have the folks that are here as the service providers kind of introduce themselves. So Wyatt, would you like to introduce yourself? He's here helping us record.
Hi, I'm Wyatt.
Omaha Planning Department. I'm Lewis Wright, project manager with the planning department as well.
Murphy Knight, Omaha House Authority Contract Administrator.
Boucher Espinosa, small energy business program.
Jared Anderson, economic equity program.
BC Clark, Nebraska Enterprise Fund.
Right now, we're going to launch in their office. But,
A little loan officer at Capital. Daisy Coyle, business specialist at Capital Tourism.
I'm Nicole Lewis, rear-rating coordinator at Department of Workforce.
the economic department with Workforce Solutions and Services.
Yeah, sorry. I'm the commercial, just making names, but also not.
And Councilman Johnson is also here this evening. Say anything to introduce yourself. Thank you for doing this.
Oh,
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Sorry. I am Tom Lieberman with Bridgeford Development. Okay, great. We're working with the City of Omaha Housing Authority to implement some of these phases that we're talking about today. The immediate opportunities for Kennedy Square East, which is the next phase of the North 30th Twist Neighborhood Initiative. We had a meeting here a few months ago, actually maybe less than a month ago, about the opportunity for demolition and abatement at Spencer Homes. And that award is going out shortly, which is exciting. On the heels of that work, we will start with the Kennedy Square East project, which will be a new construction development, 102 units, and is located in yellow on the screen that is shown up here. It's about 6 blocks to the north across from the Early Learning Center. The project really includes three components. One is a mid-rise building on the corner of 30th and Spencer, and it's 51 units. It includes a mixture of a double-loaded corridor, a 4-story wood frame above the podium, and some townhomes that are built in, as well as a commercial space and a community center for the Omaha Housing Authority on a portion of the first floor. The other phase will be a mixture of townhomes, single-family homes, and some walk-up apartments. And finally, there'll be a public improvement package where we'll be building new streets and improving existing rights of way. Bidding opened today, so the opportunity to bid is now, we're on the clock. The bid is due on August 15th. There's a sheet that outlines the bidding timelines and a link to where the actual documents are located. You can see on the screen here is the digital location of the bid documents. There's also going to be a hard copy that is located at the City of Omaha, and there's also a flyer in the back which outlines all this information. So please repeat this. The bid package is on the link on the screen here. There's a hard copy on the page, on the table in the back, and there's also a hard copy, there'll be a hard copy of the entire package, including all attachments, at the City of Omaha. Give us a day or so. It's being printed right now. I just said that. Okay. So you can see here the plan. The plan is located generally where Spencer Homes public housing is currently located, and it will be demolished over the next 5 months. The first piece of it is double corridor building with the townhomes that's in dark orange that you see on the screen. And then as you can see, as you move to the east, the buildings become more in line with what you see here at Highland, a mixture of townhomes and small walk-up buildings, and even a few duplexes and single-family homes. First phase is that mid-rise building, LBBA site. I'm just reading the screen now. So the two names, the acronyms here, LBBA is the architect, Landon Baker, and APMA is Alan Pointer. So we actually have two architects working on the project to provide some diversity to the project, just like we have here at Highland. So this is the building on the corner. It's a 4-story building, 3 stories over a concrete podium, retail on the first floor, and a community space. Above is a cementitious siding material and a mixture of some window treatments and brick on the base along the edge. This is just a rendering. There are full design development drawings, which are not construction documents, but we wanted to have an opportunity for a contractor to get on board to help us shape those final construction documents to ensure constructability with the cost environment we have right now. So we hope that you'll take that into consideration with the bid, because there's opportunities to propose value engineering and other ideas, substitutions that may help the project, understanding the cost environment right now is triggered. Here's another shot of the building from the south. You can see the entryway. There's a large glass portion. And then the retail space to the left includes the double height glazing on the first floor. To the right, as the building changes color, those are actually townhomes on the first 2 levels. And then above, it's a double open corridor. So these are more of the buildings to the east of the mid-rise building, and they're designed by Ali Pointer Mercado, an Omaha-based architect. These buildings are more traditional type townhomes. It's walk-up buildings. You can see again some examples of what this may look like if you walk down the Highlander. You can see across the street what's being developed right now. These are the same architects. These buildings will have a mixture of cementitious siding, brick, and other accent treatments such as balconies and pitched and other shed-type roofs. You can see some of the row home elevations here. There's some that have garages. Most of them are street parking. We have a couple of really unique building types here. Because this development is designed to serve residents coming out of Spencer Homes, there are a couple of very large families that we're serving with this development. And those buildings here are single-family homes that house 6 and 7 bedrooms, which are impossible to find in the Omaha metropolitan area for people that are using a housing choice voucher. And the residents coming out of Spencer variations staying on site. So we've designed these buildings in a way where they can serve the residents coming out of Spencer and over the long term provide affordable housing for people with large household sizes, which is really good. The other part of this package is the creation of a new street and improvements in some existing streets. So if you go out to the site now, many of these streets don't exist. There's a public housing development with interior courtyards creating almost like a super block on the interior. We're breaking that super block up and creating a street that runs through it. So there'll be a paving package as well as a public improvement package with underground utilities, sidewalks, curb gutter. So now I'm just going to talk quickly. And so with the bid package, there's an opportunity to ask questions. Dennis Bennett, who's our construction manager, his name, email, as well as phone number is listed on the bid solicitation. Please feel free to reach out to him to the extent he receives questions. He'll package those questions and get it back out to the group of people who've signed up for this meeting or received the bid package. The next project that we'll be bidding will be Davis Ridge, which is actually, if you were to walk straight through this wall, it would be on the hillside right behind this development. It's 41 units, and it is currently through design development and received its funding award, so we'll be moving forward the bid package at the end of this year. There'll be opportunities here for subcontractor bidding on this directly in late 2022. Kennedy Square West is a development on 30th, and it is directly across from the Early Childhood Center that is located on the west side of 30th Street. This development includes a good amount of ground floor retail space, which is designed to support local small businesses and nonprofits at a very attractive rental rate, so that people that are interested in opening up a business or a storefront in the neighborhood have a very low barrier to entry to doing this. There will also be 38 units of housing above, as well as other amenities for the building. This building will break ground in this building will break ground in the summer to fall of 2023. And this project will be the final North 30th Street bidding opportunity. And it's something that isn't on the street yet, but will be something that will be coming up shortly. So there'll be separate meetings for everything you've heard about. The last meeting we were at was for the demolition abatement, and we received a number of bids on that, and those bids will be announced shortly. Likewise, the bids on Kennedy Square East that are open right now will receive bids by August 15th, make a decision, and close by the end of the year. So this is an immediate opportunity. We have to close by the end of the year. So, it's time to, that this project will be in the ground in 2022. I would say that for this, that it's very important to read through all of the bid solicitation, ask as many questions as you need. There's never, I think the only bad question is the question that's not asked. So make sure you ask Dennis Bennett or other people today if you have any questions about the bid package. But again, you're seeking qualified bidders. Our intent here is to prioritize people that focus on SEB, MBE, WBE, Section 3, show compliance, show creativity, show speed, show capacity. This is not a hard bid. This is can you get the job done in a time frame, the creativity, the partnership, and the focus on inclusion that is important to the team here. So please be creative and don't just think about this as an opportunity to give us a low number. It really is can you get the job done and can you do it in a way that benefits not just the cost efficiency of the project, but also the neighborhood. So take a look. There's a lot of people here around who are waiting to speak, who are here to help. And every one of these meetings we have is designed not just to hear about opportunities, but to provide people in the community who can help small and emerging businesses, MBE, WBE, and Section 3 businesses to help be as competitive as So this is for you. And if you have questions for me, I'll answer to the best of my ability. The person running the bid process, Dennis Bennett, I will forward questions to him. If I can't answer them here, he will answer them and then package the questions again and provide them to people that have signed in and other people that are on the list of folks that listen to this campaign. So, thank you very much for your time. I really look forward to a strong participation from bidders. Thank you.
Yeah, did you guys already close the acceptance of bids for the demolition and abatement portion?
It hasn't been posted yet. It will be posted in the next few days.
No, have you guys stopped taking bids on this?
Yeah, that's closed. That opportunity is closed. We had a similar meeting about a month ago or a little bit longer.
I was here for it, I was just.
Okay. Well, there'll be other opportunities, whether it's for this or there's some other construction opportunities that are not covered here related to single-family homes, curb appeal, other things that there'll be opportunities to bid on.
Do you guys have any lane clearing,
Sorry.
opportunities, lane clearing opportunities as far as like down the trees and wherever they look to come in?
We can take your information and look into that. This opportunity is not for that right now, but there may be other opportunities coming up. Sir?
Hey, will all this work be developed?
Excellent question. We're going to cover that in a few minutes, but I will say yes. This is a prevailing wage project, and it will be the low-rise residential scale because it's below 4 stories. And there'll be a wage determination that's included in the bid package, which will be updated prior to the contract execution. So what we have right now is as of today, the contract is executed near the end of the year, and there'll be an adjustment for the wages at that time. Thank you for that question. This is a prevailing wage project. It's HUD assisted. It is also subject to Section 3 as well.
Are all these bonded?
Yes, this project will have to be bonded. And this is bonded on the general contract level. If you have subs that are not bonded, there are opportunities for you to bond over or provide insurance under that. But the general contract will have. And that's the roof. It's not falling in, it's just well. I'm gonna leave some cards as well, so if you guys think of any questions, you can send them to me or send them to Dennis Bennett directly. Again, the goal is to package those questions and provide answers to all of
We will be sending out a copy of the link to the RFP to everybody who's on. So the sign-up sheet, or who's on our regular email list for this too. So we'll have to look at that information that this is contact information.
Yeah.
As well. So I'm gonna talk real quickly about some of the governmental requirements that are attached to these projects, and I'm gonna focus specifically on the requirements that are applied to general contractors. I might talk a little bit about some subcontractor requirements, but this will mostly be in relation to general contractors. So one thing I also want to highlight, and Todd discussed this as well, is that for each project we encourage the participation from small and minority-owned businesses, and we encourage all businesses to participate in these projects. And just some different types of businesses that we're talking about would be like MBE, WBE, MBE, minority-owned business, women-owned business. And that's if 51% or more of your business is owned by somebody who is considered a minority or what would be considered an MBE, WBE. And then our contact for MBE, WBE at the city is Ed Dinsler. I've got his email on there as well. You can also ask me questions regarding that program and help answer those as well. Then we have the Small and Emerging Small Business Program, or SEP. We do have 2 folks from the HR and our department. The contact is Christian Espinoza, who's the SEP program administrator. So if you have questions about the SEP program, they're available to answer those questions tonight. And then the Section 3 program, I'm the contact for the Section 3 program and got my information there as well. well, and I will go into a bit more detail about what the Section 3 program is and what clients with Section 3 might look like. And then I know that, there are many different business certifications. We'll talk about a lot of different certifications today. If you're not sure where to start with those certifications, there may be 3 of them, there may be 2 of those, it's very likely. And a good starting point or a good group to ask would be the REACH team, just to kind of see where they might suggest to start and help guide you through some of that certification process as well. So, federal requirements. Section 3 is a federal program that was created by the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968, so it's been around for quite a while. It did just recently undergo a major program change, so there may be some differences for those of you that have worked with Section 3 program before. There may be some differences that I talked about tonight that maybe you hadn't heard previously. We do have a few Section 3 that are as well. But the program is designed to help create economic opportunities in an area where HUD specifically is investing resources. So they're going to invest resources into an area. They want to see some of the opportunities extended to the people and the businesses that work in that area. So we're seeing that with the Choice Neighborhoods program too. Here in this neighborhood, we have investment from HUD, the Choice Neighborhoods program, and then the intentions of that money varies in the funding is to see that opportunity be extended to the people and the businesses that are here. So to qualify as a Section 3 business concern, I think we should also clarify that there are really kind of 2 categories of Section 3. There's a Section 3 business and a Section 3 worker. Hopefully most of you are more familiar with the Section 3 business side. It's probably will be more applicable to you as we talk about it. But a Section 3 business is a business that meets any one of the 3 qualifications that we have listed there. The first qualification is if 51% or more of your business is owned by somebody who's considered low or very low income. Right now, currently for the Omaha MSA, that number is $53,300. So if your income is below that, your individual income is below that dollar value, you would qualify for Section 3. And that $53,300, like I said, is an individual income level, and it's updated by HUD on an annual basis. So that is the current value for this year. The second way that you would qualify would be if 75% or more of your business's labor hours on construction come from a low to very low income person. Then the last one is if 51% or more of your business is owned by somebody who lives in public housing or will receive Section 8 assistance. Section 3 worker, then, there are 2 different types, really, or 2 categories for Section 3 workers. The first, for Section 3 workers specifically, anybody who meets any one of these 3 qualifications qualifies. So the first is, again, if you're low or very low income. So if your individual annual income is at or below $53,300, person qualifies. If somebody is employed by a Section 3 business concern, so if you're a Section 3 business, all of your workers then are Section 3 workers. So the third way is if you are a youth build participant. And a targeted Section 3 worker really is a more specific category of a Section 3 worker. So a person would be considered a targeted Section 3 worker, again, if they are employed by a Section 3 business concern. So if you are a Section 3 business concern, all of your workers are Section 3 workers, and all of your workers are also targeted Section 3 workers. Another way that you might qualify is if a person is for this specific area or this specific neighborhood, if somebody was a resident of Spencer Homes, they're considered a targeted Section 3 worker. If they are a resident of any other area or if they receive Section 8 assistance, also considered a targeted Section 3 worker. The last way, again, is if somebody is a youth build participant, they're a Section 3 worker. So those are some definitions. I'll talk a little bit more specifically about how we apply those definitions. One item I want to highlight is that with our construction projects, the general contractor is tasked with working with subcontractors to help meet these Section 3 requirements. So one of the ways that we do that is the general contractor and the subcontractors are all required to submit a Section 3 plan. And the idea with the Section 3 plan is to kind of take a glance at the existing workforce for each business and some of the hiring needs for those businesses as well. So what they do, and I should also say that information that is submitted to me as the city's Section 3 coordinator, I review it and then approve it or ask for more information where needed. But the items that need to go in that plan include a Section 3 cover letter, the list of all your employees and their work classifications, the list of those that will be on this specific project, and also indicate if there are any hiring needs. So this way we kind of have some indication where the hiring needs are and where maybe some of our Section 3 workers could be pulled from. The last is to attach a Section 3 clause, which highlights the regulations for the Section 3 program. So that's all something that we do kind of after, as we're starting the project. Prior to starting work, this information is submitted. So then contractors who are hiring are also kind of encouraged to contact the city to talk about the Section 3 worker registry. So what we've been doing is, as we have some of these outreach meetings, we're looking to identify anybody within the neighborhood or within the city who qualifies as a Section 3 worker, and then we ask them to certify, and in that certification, they'll provide information about their past work experience, their employment, their educational experience, and then also they'll indicate if there are any training or employment interests that they specifically have to help kind of direct them or connect them to potential jobs. So the general contractor and all subcontractors then on a construction project are to provide the project's construction labor hours. This is kind of how we document Section 3 as we're looking at labor hours. And so that includes the total labor hours, the Section 3 labor hours, and the target Section 3 labor hours. So as a general contractor, you're working with the subcontractors to make sure that labor hours are tracked and then provided. And the benchmarks for each project is to have 25% of the total project labor hours come from Section 3 workers, and then 5% come from targeted Section 3 workers. So really, to meet these benchmarks, to do what HUD is asking of us, there needs to be participation from Section 3 businesses and Section 3 workers. So, we talked about what those definitions are, how somebody is considered a Section 3 worker or a Section 3 business. So kind of the next step is to certify businesses and workers. And the Section 3 program follows a self-certification process. So it's you saying, I need the qualification, I'm a Section 3 business, and then completing the application. So for business, all of the certification is done through the HUD Section 3 Business Registry, which is an online portal. So you have walked through that process with me before. So if anybody has questions about how to sign up for Section 3, please feel free to contact me, or I've got a sheet here with me tonight to help sign up for a possible consultation to kind of get more information about how to sign up for Section 3 and what that process looks like. And also for the certification of Section 3 workers and targeted Section 3 workers, we do have a certification form for each project, and the workers will then work with the general contractor to make sure that everybody who's Section 3 is certified as Section 3 also submit a self-certification form. And like I said, we do have the Section 3 worker registry that's here specific for Omaha to kind of help facilitate this process as well. So then another federal requirement is Davis-Bacon. And I mentioned Davis-Bacon kind of earlier tonight. So for general contractors, the general contractor really should demonstrate proficiency or some experience with Davis-Bacon compliance and should have a plan kind of in place prior to the project starting to ensure that compliance. So there, whether we have regular check-in meetings, whether there's an electronic system, there should be some kind of organization or system in place to kind of help make sure that all the contractors involved are providing the information that's needed to make sure the project stays in compliance. And like we said, also each project has a wage determination which is specific for that construction project. We've got an example available now that will probably be updated as the project moves forward and gets closer to construction. But that wage determination should be in all bidding documents and also in your subcontractor agreements as well. Workers are paid prevailing wages. Prevailing wages are kind of the representative of the local wages for project area. Prevailing wage would include an hourly wage rate and a fringe rate. So what then each contractor will do is submit weekly payroll reports to pay employees on a weekly basis. And so somebody like me that will review those payroll reports and make sure that the wage that's shown for each person matches the prevailing wage rate for the work classification that shows up on the wage determination. There's kind of a system to make sure that workers are paid the correct wages for the project. And then contractors and subcontractors may also be required to submit some additional supporting documentation. If they have an apprenticeship program, there's some information that we need to. If there are other deductions, we make sure those are all lawful deductions. We do check the fringe benefits also to kind of look at the type of fringes that are provided. And then the compliance documents are submitted to the general contractor for compliance review. So the general contractor would be the first point of contact for those weekly submissions of payroll reports from each subcontractor. And would be reviewing the information to make sure it's correct. Then we submit it to the compliance officer, which in this case would be the city, just to make sure all documents are provided and it's kind of like a final check to make sure everything is there. And also to provide maybe to answer some questions perhaps that might occur on those payroll reports. So then some other requirements that are attached to these projects. We do require participation in verify, and contractors and subcontractors are all required to show proof of that participation. It could be the agreement that the contractor has with the E-Verify program. There also is a requirement that general contractors provide proof of SAM registration, and then subcontractors are required to show sign a debarment suspension form. So this is kind of our way of checking to make sure that all contractors on the project are eligible to work on federal projects. So that's what those checks are for. And kind of the last, one of the other requirements that we have is that the general contractor does engage small and disadvantaged businesses to make sure that we are doing outreach to local businesses and that we're documenting the outreach that is done to help boost participation in these construction projects. And I'll go into a little bit more about what that looks like. We give some examples of how you as a general contractor might do outreach to some of our small businesses. So for the Section 3 businesses, one thing that we in the city have done is we require all general contractors to send an email to all Section 3 businesses listed on the local Section 3 business registry, just to let them know that a bid opportunity is available. And then they also are required, should include a copy of that email or that communication in their procurement package. So this is kind of one way to outreach to Section 3 businesses and one way to document it. For MBEW participation, we also have an MBEW plan that has a list of service providers who help do outreach to these businesses. And so we do suggest that you email those vendors. Some of the vendors consist of like Reach, the HR&R as a contact, the city as a contact. So there are different vendors that help serve MBEW businesses that we ask you to notify so they can also assist with outreach. The SEB program, we contact the HR&R department just to kind of ask about what outreach you should be doing with Tier 1 and Tier 2 SEBs. And then OHA is another resource. They have a contractor list. You can contact Murphy and see if you can help do some outreach to some of their contractors as well. Copy of the bid document, kind of like this project where a copy of the bid package is with the city of Omaha. It's also with Reach. That way, Reach, for example, can take that information, kind of get familiar with it, and then help other contractors looking to bid on it to go through and figure out how to what bid information they need to provide. So it's just kind of another level of assistance. And then again, really provide outreach to any other organization that you think might serve these businesses and provide documentation of that as well. So that was a lot of information that I covered in a quick amount of time. Give a packet of information to help with compliance, and then depending on the general contractor's experience with Davis Bacon, they might do kind of that pre-construction conference with the subcontractors, or I might do it with the subcontractors as well to kind of help get that information. It's a lot of information. I don't think it's necessarily that it's challenging, it's just that it's really detailed. There's kind of a lot of specifics that go with this bacon. So that's how we kind of try and get everybody oriented to the requirements for Davis Bacon. And then as the project, just as we're setting up the project, one thing that we did for the overlook and for that waiting is we've got a file sharing system. So as information is sent to the general contractor, which is Houseman in that case, as it's sent to Houseman, they review it. They have a Davis Bacon specific person on staff who reviews Davis Bacon. So she'll review it once she thinks it's acceptable, she'll put it into a file for me to review. And I should say they also have a file that I can see when something comes in, then it gets sent to me or it's ready for my review, and then I can either send it back to them or I can put it in a proof file. And so then if I have questions, I'll contact the general contractor, and then if we have questions that they are able to resolve, then I will also kind of work with that subcontractor. And so it's kind of a lot of different steps that we have, but really kind of part of my role is to help provide technical assistance, and if that means, I meet with somebody as they fill out the first several payrolls, and that's perfectly acceptable. It's part of my role is to help provide that information.
Are you ready?
Oh, yes.
Is there a software program for Davis Bacon that will give you all the whistles, the bells, and the alarms as to when you're filling out the required compliance issues that assist you to kind of navigate and make that process a lot more streamlined?
Yes, there are programs that we have in place. And using that would be helpful to have those programs. It's just I think there's an expense sometimes that goes with those products, with that kind of electronic system. So I think that's kind of been our delay for some of the general contractors getting that set up so far. But yes, a system like that is in place to kind of help facilitate the Davis Bacon appeal process. So generally how that works is the general contractor will sign up for the system. It's called the Elation system. So it's the name of the program that I've worked with. I do other programs too. But generally the general contractor gets it all set up, and then I'll kind of work with the subcontractors to go about that as well.
So do you know what is that program?
I've looked at it previously. I can follow up and maybe get some follow-up information. I don't remember offhand how much it costs.
Typically specialized software like this, usually like $100
Or is this $100 or $200?
And typically on average, being specific software like this.
That would be worth it.
I don't know anything about that. Software, usually on average, software like that is usually very cool.
If you can give us maybe a monthly subscription, I'll have to kind of go back and look at that again.
There's actually a YouTube video that explains it really, really well. It sounds funny, but don't take that as like gospel or anything. It kind of walks you through the setup. It's very nice. I've done a few steps on there. It helps a lot.
Also, they used to have I don't know if they still do, but also I don't use them. They use this one, but the government, go to the website, where you can go to the website, for Davis Bacon. You used to have a whole, show you how they walk through, how to fill out each line on the forms or submitting paperwork. it's not that difficult, if you have someone who's really payroll, or if you use a service like patient or something, they will cover it, so they will do all of the reports.
Yeah, and I do have something in my contractor packets too, that is kind of a step-by-step guide, it's a paper form, it's a step-by-step guide of how to fill out those reports too. Any other questions? Thank you for the questions. Okay, well, we'll still be here for a little bit. We'll switch into our technical assistance tables. We have a few tables that are set up, just to kind of, a lot of these tables are focused on some of the items that we talked about tonight, or they discuss maybe some financing options for some of these projects as well. So the first table, Lewis is sitting there, he's got the applications for some of our contractor lists. So there's our exterior rehabilitation program contractor list, with our new list is the C&I curb appeal program contractor list. So for some of you that maybe attended our last meeting, if you have questions about that application process, or you would follow up on your application, Lewis is here to talk to you about that. Table number 2, Murphy and I are sitting there talking about days vacant in section 3. So if you want to sign up for section 3, I could do that, or set up a time for us to meet to do that. We also have some information that we can review with you as well, if questions about either program. Then Jared and Christian are back there to talk about the SEB program. Table number 4, we've got the Nebraska Enterprise Fund. We've got some information about some financing options and some of the general services that NM provides. The REACH program is also here to talk about the services that they provide. The next table, Catholic Charities, is here to talk about some micro-business services. And then we also have Heartland Workforce Solutions and 75 North that are here to talk about different workforce programs that are available and all the good work that they have going on. And then also we have a kind of a networking space if you want to talk about with 75 North and Bridgeshore about this new RFP. We also, the Nebraska Business Development Center, who a lot of times do, your business certification or your SAM certification. They had something come up unexpectedly today and were not able to attend, but I do have some information about some of their programs too, if you would like to learn more information. Because I know, like I said, for a general contractor, you are required to have SAM registration. It's it is a detailed, kind of a complicated process, I think, and so I've got some information to kind of give you an introduction into what will be required for that. So with that, those are the tables that we have available. Please feel free to walk around and talk to us. We'll be here for a while, and if you have questions, just let us know. But thank you very much for attending. I do appreciate it.